Hello from Pogradec, Albania. I am going to share with you all what I spent in the month of January 2026 here in Pogradec as a mother of a teenager who is 17 years old. All right, am I floating? Here we go, we are floating. All right, so I'm going to share my spreadsheet. So what we ended up paying for our rent for January was $480. That's in USD. Now it might look here like it might appear that my rent is going up every month, and that's technically true. I mean, it's a stagnant 400 euros or 40,000 lek. They always kind of use the lek and the euro interchangeably here, even though they actually are different currencies and not always the same. So I pay 40,000 lek per month for my rent. Because the dollar is reducing in value and I get paid in USD, my rent is technically going up every month. So we ended up paying $480 this month. My iPostal mailbox is $10 a month. Our phones here, again, that's something that I pay in lek. So that amount it has been slightly going up every month. Right now, this past month I paid $53.78. The internet was $19.56. The electric was $107.53. That's pretty steep here, but I've used a lot of electric heaters this past month. I don't have a split unit in my apartment, so we rely on our wood-burning stove and our electric heaters. The water was $32.68. My YouTube subscription is $24.54. My Canva subscription is $15, and my Microsoft subscription is $10.73. Those are subscriptions that I'm probably just going to have forever. We did not pay Jesse's tuition this month. He did not need that particular school. He's doing some other studies right now that are free of charge. Our ship classes, we ended up paying $48.89. We pay like 500 lek per person per class. And so for the month of January, that's what it converted to in total. And then $4 for the cleaning service here. So our total monthly bills were $806.71. All right, so this is our monthly spending outside of our bills. This was the budget here. So that you can see that the top row are the things that we budgeted for. The second row is the amount that I budgeted for those things. So that was the goal, was not to spend more than those amounts. So we budgeted $370 for groceries, $10 for cleaning, $20 for household things, because we don't really need anything right now. The $10 is for like cleaning products, like sprays or dusters, whatever. And again, I didn't think we were going to spend too much because we already are pretty well stocked on that. Paper products around $12, toiletries $30. Some months I spend a lot of money in toiletries, and some months I don't spend anything at all. So for the cat, we budgeted $12. I knew we weren't likely going to need clothes this month because we just spent a lot over the winter. We bought a lot of clothes. $20 for transportation. I only budgeted $25 for health. I didn't think we were going to spend a lot of money on health expenses this month, but I was wrong. I didn't budget any money for fun stuff because I was really hoping to just put a lot of extra money away this month. $43 for the barber and the salon. And then I budgeted like a buffer zone of $300. So this is just an other category. And you can see with this category, I add notes to what I spend. That way when I look back in a couple of months, I can remember and I keep track of our foreign rate exchange fees and what we spend in restaurants. I budgeted for $75. So the goal was to spend no more than $927 this month. And so I'll show you how we did. Groceries is always our biggest expense. We ended up going over budget $174.05. So if there's parentheses around it, that's a negative number. So that means we went over that amount. So we spent $544.05 on groceries. That was mostly for Jesse and I, and then Craig, of course, comes over sometimes too, but I go over there sometimes too, so I think it kind of evens out. When I was here alone, when Jesse was gone in the U.S., I spent around $175 a month on groceries. So we spend a lot of extra money, because he's a teenager. We ended up not really spending any money on cleaning products, just a little bit of money on household products, because again, we were pretty well stocked. Our paper products, we spent right around $10 this month. Toiletries, very little. Again, we were just pretty well stocked on that stuff for this month. So that gave us some extra buffer room in the budget. Did not spend any on clothing and very little on transportation because I just take the bus or a short cab ride out to the village to hang out with Craig. We didn't do much more than that. We did rent a car and do some fun stuff, but I put all that under this amount here. We went out to explore some villages in the Mokra area. But the health, so I budgeted for $25 for health because I didn't think we were going to need it. But right away, I spent $38.84 on some really good supplements that I found. Jesse ended up hurting his back, so I took him to the physical therapist, and that cost 2,000 lek, which converts to $24.44. I'm really happy with that price. He did a great job. It was a really comprehensive appointment. And then I ended up getting swelling in my throat, so I went to an endocrinologist who did an ultrasound, subsequent blood test, and prescribed me medication. And that all together cost me $162.55. So that was a really good price for all of that, and I was able to get a diagnosis within 24 hours. So I'm really happy with that. And then some other over-the-counter medication cost us $12.22. This fun stuff budget here, again, we rented a car and we went for a day trip and stopped at a nice restaurant. We got some traditional Albanian food. It's a really fun day, but I kind of lumped all that together into one amount. So we spent $122 on that day, which again is a really good price. I'm really happy with that. This $18.33 was for my nails. I spent 1,500 lek to get my nails done, but that was I think it was actually 12. I gave her a tip. So the total amount with the tip converts to $18.33, and she did a nice job. They're a little grown out now, but she does a really nice job. And then Jesse went to his barber and got his hair cut, and he does some other things for Jesse as well. Like he'll trim up his eyebrows and like do like a mini facial. They put cream on his face and stuff. He doesn't really ask for all that stuff, but they just kind of do it. But so he comes out of there feeling like $1 million. All right, so in the other category, we spent $100 on wood. So we did pretty good. We didn't go out to eat too much this past month. And then when we do, I don't always pay. Sometimes Craig pays. So we ended up going over budget, $57.68. So our total monthly spending, we went over budget $299.61. So we'll just say $300. So the total amount we ended up spending on our variable spending was $1,227, and that's this amount here. So that combined with our monthly bills is this amount here. So that's $2,033.71, which is pretty much what it always is. We always end up spending right around $2,000. This is missing that amount here. This in July, that amount was, I showed you all my budget, and then I showed you what it would be if you removed my health expenses and things like that. And that's what that amount is. So that we pretty much always spend right around $2,000 a month total. So that's pretty good. With $1 in the toilet, you know, some of my bills are getting more expensive, and some of the things around town have been more expensive here lately too. So for us to maintain this $2,000 budget is pretty good. I'm happy with that. We've been more conscious about how we're spending money on groceries and things like that. So we're doing okay. You know, I've just kind of, I always try to shoot for spending around $1,500, and we just almost never keep it there. So for the month of February, I've budgeted a lot more money for health expenses because we both need more health-related appointments. Jesse's gonna need more back appointments, and I'm gonna need to see a few doctors as well. I budgeted $150 for fun stuff and $150 for other. I would love to put a little bit more money into that, but with the health expenses being high, that's just what it is. And groceries, I should really probably just bump that up a little bit because we never keep it that low. There, we'll make it 400. That's reasonable. All right, so the goal for February is to not spend more than $1,132 on everything, with the exception of our monthly bills. I think right now, I think we actually just paid the rent today. Let me see what that converts to. Yes, so we just paid the rent today, and it's pretty much this, $488.88 is what we just paid for the rent for the month of February. Hopefully the dollar will start getting stronger again someday. And that would certainly help our budget. But yeah, so that's the goal. All right, so I'll make another video in the beginning of March to show you what we ended up spending in January or in February of 2026. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more budgeting videos, please check out the rest of the videos in this playlist. I also have a playlist that talks a lot about our experiences with the medical system here. I discuss the cost as well as the experience. If you found this helpful, please do like and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one.